Welcome to the Habersham House in Savannah, Georgia. This house behind me is one of the oldest in the city, and it's a remarkable link to Georgia's revolutionary past. It also speaks to the wealth and prestige of its original owner, James Habersham, who was a leading figure in Georgia business and politics. The fate of the Habersham House hung in the balance many times. Threatened by war, fire, and time, the Habersham House persevered to become the Pink House restaurant.
James Habersham was a successful merchant, deeply involved in the transatlantic trade. He also served as acting royal governor of Georgia, a position that placed him at the very center of the growing tension between Britain and the American colonies. While Habersham himself remained a loyalist, loyal to the crown, his three sons chose the opposite path. They became ardent patriots, throwing themselves into the struggle for independence. The Habersham family, like many in Georgia, was literally divided by the Revolution. Father against sons, loyalty against liberty. The Habersham family wealth was closely tied to the ownership of enslaved individuals. James Habersham Sr. championed overturning Georgia's original ban on slavery, and he personally owned numerous enslaved people on his plantations and helped establish enslaved labor at the Bethesda orphanage. His sons similarly owned and profited from the institution of chattel slavery. While most of Savannah was still made of wood, the wealthy Habershams chose brick and lime plaster for this house, a decision that helped the house survive fire, storms, and centuries of change. While there is no consensus, some accounts date the house to as early as 1771, although more recent research has dated it to the 1790s. When the Great Fire of 1796 swept through the city and destroyed hundreds of wooden structures, the Habersham House stood firm, becoming one of the few remaining examples of late 18th century architecture in Savannah. Despite its name, the house wasn't originally pink. It began as a white plastered brick residence, but the city's persistent humidity caused the natural red pigments and the clay bricks to seep through the line-based stucco. Over time, this created an unmistakable rose tint, no matter how often the house was whitewashed. In the 1930s, preservationist Alida Harper Folks decided to embrace the building's unique appearance, intentionally painting it a brighter shade of pink. The most significant preservation work began in the late 1960s and early 1970s when the restaurant owners undertook major stabilization efforts. The entire structure was lifted and carefully reset so that doorways and trim would realign. During this process, workers uncovered original 18th century cooking fireplaces in the basement, features that can still be seen today.
Today, the Habersham House is a prime example of how adaptive reuse keeps Savannah's history alive. It's also an important reminder about how the Revolutionary War literally divided Georgia families such as the Habershams.